And do not forget to do good and share with each other. For with such sacrifices, God is pleased. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 16. Sharing is one of those things I have a hard time mastering. I like to have my space and my things in my space. As you can see, I am currently in my closet. When we moved in initially, I wanted to have my own closet. We eventually agreed to share a closet because that made better use of our space. In every relationship, we give a piece of ourselves. It could be of our time that we spend at our jobs. This time is spent away from our family and friends. We give of our monetary means to enhance our friendships by participating in activities. And we also give of our emotions once our friendships have deepened. The early church is a prime example of giving ourselves. Acts chapter 4, verse 32. All the believers were one in heart and mind. No one claimed that any of their possessions was their own, but they shared everything they had. This is a true testament of how the gospel can change lives and change the way we interact with each other on a personal basis. The statement of the believer sharing and not considering their possessions their own comes on the heels of some very, very big events. Within the year 30 AD, Peter had preached the sermon at Pentecost, and 3,000 people had obeyed the gospel. Peter and John had healed a lame man, and Peter and John had appeared before the Sanhedrin for the first recorded time in the book of Acts. All of these things are lending to the disciples becoming closer together and becoming one in mind. Even though we are not experiencing physical persecution, we can use this time to draw ourselves closer together to our physical families and to our church family. It is the little things that we can share with each other that goes a long way. We can share of our time with others, helping with a project or spending time in conversation with them. We can share of our monetary resources by remembering special occasions and milestones individuals reach. And we can share of our experiences with others, either as a warning of a road that they are potentially going down or as a suggestion, as a direction they could go. Sharing with one another is definitely a mindset that is very important for a Christian to master. It is something I work on constantly to find ways how the resources we have can benefit and make someone's road a little easier or their day a little brighter. My challenge for us today is to consider our church family and find someone outside of our typical circle and invest a piece of ourselves into them. As we see in Acts chapter 4, verses 33 through 34, and God's grace was so powerfully at work in them that there were no needy persons among them. The recipient of this gift of our different resources will definitely be rewarded. But we as the giver will also find that the giver in the instances will also be rewarded. We will begin to see how God works within our relationships, and we will begin to see that everyone's needs are being met.